Hello, hello, hello! Welcome! This video, I am going to talk a little bit about my art career journey and how I got started. Let's see. So, to give you some context of where I'm speaking from right now, I am currently, as I'm making this video, 38 years old. I hate to say that. I feel so old now, but it just shows you that you can start your career anytime. Okay, so when I first started creating art, I was probably 4 or 5, like a lot of artists. You love to draw and paint, and I grew up doing it. I think I got serious about it in high school, and I took a lot of art classes. I don't want to say I was particularly a standout. I was a hard worker, and I really loved what I did. And I think that's what carried me through, was my passion for what I did, and it wasn't so much that I had like a natural gift. There were some kids in my class who were extremely naturally gifted and still are, but I wasn't one of them. I had to really work at it and practice and just show up day after day after day and really just enjoy what I was doing. So that's how I kind of moved forward through. In high school, I was in the Art Honor Society, and just really enjoyed taking leadership roles in the art program. And I put together my portfolio. I presented it to a few different colleges, and I really wanted to go to Syracuse University, and showed them my portfolio at their review, and I was just so grateful and lucky I got in. So I ended up going to art school there. It was the College of Visual and Performing Arts, School of Art and Design at Syracuse University. And so, being from Maine originally, I ended up having to go 8 hours away from home to go to school, which was hard because I didn't have a car, but it was an amazing experience, and I learned a lot. Freshman year was all about foundation and learning the basic skills, and then from then on, sophomore year, we had to choose a major, and I chose advertising design as my focus. At the time, I was really interested in working in advertising, doing computer work, solving problems, coming up with innovative and funny ideas. We were really being groomed for the New York City circuit and for, writing funny advertising and commercials. So that's the direction I was headed in, and I think I was pretty good at it. But the problem is I intended to go into school to focus on illustration. That was where my deep-seated passion was creating art, and I sort of took a different path at that point. Looking back now, I know that my biggest issue was fear. I was afraid that I wasn't good enough at illustration, that I wasn't a good enough draftsman, a good enough renderer to create the ideas that I wanted to create. I saw all of the other students who were like these amazing painters or did these amazing realist drawings and were so clever and filled with talent, and I just felt so intimidated by the whole thing, and I thought, okay, like I definitely can't compete with these people. So I kind of like scaled back my wishes and thought I will just focus on the computer graphic design route. And I really was interested in it and fascinated by it and excited by the challenges. I'm a little bit of a left-brained person, so I liked the focus on coming up with the ideas and original content. But you can't quiet down the fire inside of you to create, to paint, to make things. I thought, oh, illustration would have been perfect because it's a way to have a career that's viable. At the time, I didn't think, oh, I could make art and make a living at it. It was kind of, one of those pipe dreams. Very few people did it. At the time, the internet was just getting underway. It was 1996, 97, and the internet had been around for a few years, but it wasn't being used to purchase things as much yet. It was more of an information sort of age. So at the time, you had to move to a city that had a gallery space, and you had to be represented by a gallery in order to make work. And I thought, well, no one's ever going to want me, and I don't have the money to move to a city. I'm from a small town in Maine. Like, I don't have money to go live in an apartment in the city. So I just let a lot of my preconceived notions and fears hold me back in my decision making. And I took safer routes or things that I thought would be a better route for me. Fast forward through graduation, and I got a job. I just picked the first job that sort of came to me that summer after graduation, and it was a small, medium-sized, business-to-business ad agency. I learned a lot there. It was a great place to start and get used to what I needed to do and, handling the deliverables, but it wasn't as challenging as I had hoped it would be. And the pay wasn't great, and, just everything that's not so great with a beginner, which is fine. But my boss at that place, like the head of the company, was incredibly, incredibly horrible. He was very mean and just terrified me, and he was abusive. He was very abusive with his words and his actions and his language, and it led me down a serious path of depression and anxiety and just terrified to go to work every day. I felt sick all the time. So, after that experience, I found a new job after a few years and got into a much more healthy environment and learned a lot more about graphic design and did a lot more cutting edge work, and it was just a fun experience. I went on to work in retail, corporate environments, and did a lot of packaging design and signage for stores. I loved my job working for a global retailer. It was a really wonderful experience, and it was great to go to like a mall and see my work in the stores and stuff. It was really fun, and it was just great people that I worked with. I went on and got married and started a family, and I ended up, quitting that job and wanted to freelance. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to have a say in how things were done. I wanted to explore my own ideas and the way I could handle things. And so I did that for a while, and that was really successful, and I enjoyed it. But there was still something missing. And, when I started to do a lot more reflecting, it was just that I missed painting. I missed creating what I used to do my entire life was the joy of creating art for art's sake. So I decided, hey, at the time it was around 2006, 2005, and I decided, Etsy, it was brand new. It had just come out. There's very few people on it. So I was an early adopter for Etsy. And I started my shop. At the time it was called Megan Creates. And I started selling stationery and greeting cards. And then I evolved into doing letterpress work. I ended up obtaining my own letterpress and taught myself how to create wedding invitations and birth announcements and my own stationery and cards. And it did really well. I got published in a letterpress book. I got featured on Design Sponge and several other design blogs that were newer at the time. It was really exciting and really a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it, most importantly, and I felt good about it. So that was really the first taste of really being excited about what I was doing with my art. When I had children, I went through a lot of struggle because I had a hard time having children, and that's a whole separate video. But the bottom line is I needed to take a lot of time out and focus on my family. And so a few years got devoted to starting my family, being there for my children, and helping them. And the focus came off of me and onto my kids, which, is just sort of the way of nature. And during that time, I still read blogs and followed all these other artists and watched the amazing things they were doing. And I felt so jealous, and I felt, so wishful that I was doing what they were doing. And the more I saw other people following their dreams, the more jealous and a little bit resentful and depressed that I became. And I realized it wasn't so much that I was jealous of them as much as it was disappointed in myself for not following the dreams that I had. I had the education and the background to do what I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing it. And I know now it was because I was fearful of disappointment and fearful of not knowing what I was doing and, not succeeding. But I realized success to me means, and it's different for everyone, success means creating what it is I want to create, putting it out there, sharing it with others, and eventually making a sale, selling that piece to someone else who sees something in it, that someone else who's excited by something that I made. That was the excitement. That was the draw. And that's the feeling I want to keep having, is creating things and making other people happy with something I've made. Someone will see a painting, say, I need to have that in my house. It makes me happy to look at. It makes me feel good. And it's just really an honor to be able to provide that for someone else. So when I realized that's what I really wanted to be doing, I just got serious. I thought, probably around 2 years ago, I said, all right, that's it. I have to start creating work, fine art originals, no more stationery and note cards. I was making very little money. I mean, $3 a card every once in a while. It was just a lot of effort to go to the post office and send one card to someone for $3 and all that effort and time put in. I thought, if I'm going to put in the time, I really want to create something big and meaningful. Something that someone else can really enjoy and have, and that can transform their space. So I started creating large paintings, and originally they were very realistic, sort of boats and nature scenes and landscapes. And as time evolved, as I practiced, I noticed that painting, it doesn't feel good to me. Ugh. And then I realized that's my intuition. It was telling me, I don't want to create landscapes. I don't feel good when I finish a landscape. I feel tired. I feel depleted. Maybe I'll feel proud, but not like I wanted to do it over and over again for a sustainable period. And I realized, if I'm going to create work, I want to be excited about what I'm creating. What's the feeling I want to have when I'm working? I want to feel energized and excited to sit down and work. What was it that was going to make me feel good? So I tried different things. I spent a lot of time trying to paint florals, and I painted abstracts, and I painted animals, and I did nursery art. I tried everything. And as I tried each thing, I really paid close attention to how I felt while I was creating it and how I felt after. And then I paid attention also to how I felt when I went to start a new similar piece. And I found through that painting in an abstract way, using bright colors, really just made my heart sing, and I decided that's the direction I'm going. Whether it's painting an abstract landscape or abstract flowers or just colors on a canvas, I wanted to show how different colors play together, and using light and space can really just make you feel so calm and happy and soothed when you look at it. So that's the direction I took, and now here I am 2 years later doing the same thing, and I started selling my work. As soon as I opened my mind up to, hey, I can sell my work. I don't have to try to just sell little prints or think small, think big. Start thinking I can sell original paintings that are large and sell them to people who really want them. Now that the internet is there and you can have your own online, you can have your own website, your own shop, I don't need anyone else to sell through. I can sell it myself, and I can provide something that other people want to have in their homes. And there's nothing more exciting and nothing more honorable for me than to make things that other people can cherish in their homes. I started creating wedding bouquet portraits for people, and that was another way of catching something unique and special for someone else to have. And I've just been so excited. I'm really, really happy to be in the place I am. And I'm just sad that I spent so long avoiding what it really is I wanted to be doing because I was thinking small and thinking that I wasn't good enough. And over the years, I've learned that there is something for everyone. There is a market, there is room for everybody. Every artist is different and unique, and we all provide something different. We're all special in our own way. So we need to find that thing and embrace it. Figure out what it is that makes you special, and what it is that you do that is so unique. And you just need to own it and really let it fly and show off and be proud. And I watched all kinds of people have huge, successful careers making the most random of things, and they're loving it. And there's always a market and people out there who want what you make. And when I finally embraced that idea that I can create something other people want, it's not just a dream that other people have. It's not just something, oh, she can do that, but not me. Once I got over that thinking, the sky has been the limit. I've had some work recently go to anthropology, which has been really exciting for me, prints and things like that. I've been in a lot of local magazines and had local press, and I've been on some big blogs. It's been really exciting. And putting myself out there was scary at first because I thought, oh, who am I to stand out? Who am I to put myself out there? But why not? Like, why not me? And it's the same for you. Why not you? And so that's the message I want to share today is if there's something that you really want to go after, don't sit around and think small and, oh, this is something other people do. I don't have what it takes. Put your best foot forward, show your best work, photograph it in the best light, Photoshop it if you have to into a scene. Really go after the people you think would value your work. And that's how I've done it. And I'm really enjoying the process. It's long-term goals. It's not an overnight thing. It's very slow and steady. And if it's something you really love, you're going to make it happen. You have to stick through it. We're not talking a week or 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. I'm talking years of sticking with it and showing up every day. I gave up a lot of the ventures I had in the past after 6 months, 3 months. Oh, this idea didn't work, forget it. And I never stuck with things long enough to let them succeed, to put in the energy and that marketing effort. And I wish I had stood behind my ideas more and long term. But now that I'm doing the thing I really have always wanted to do since I was a little girl, I have that drive and that interest to stick with it. So let that be encouragement for you if you're nervous about really putting 110% into something you're interested in doing. Really dig deep and think, am I avoiding the thing I really most want in my life because I'm afraid that I'm not good enough to succeed at it? And just give it a try. Think bigger, go for the gold, and there's nothing you can't do, really. It's all in here. So that is all I wanted to say today in this video. I hope it helps someone out there the way, I needed that encouragement. So have a great day, and thanks so much for watching.